Welcome back. Now, the idea for an international day to mark and draw attention to the rampant problem of child abuse was mooted in 2001. Of course, the day marked with events and activities to mobilize and educate government as well as societies to take action to prevent child abuse.
Child abuse is a problem that's dangerous because of the fact that it often takes not so obvious forms. Something as basic as teasing a child could lead to mental trauma in that child. Then there's physical abuse as well, which is as much of a problem because there is a stigma attached to even admitting that you've been abused.
And this morning we have with us Mr. SreeRam. He's the instructor for Tamil Nadu for KravMaga, India. Good morning, sir, and welcome to our studios. First of all, child abuse, when it's an emotional abuse, it's always easier to talk to someone, confide in someone, and you can always meet people, specialized people who will give you a kind of a solution to it. But when it comes to physical abuse, there seems to be a different sort of a reaction to it because children are not even aware they are being abused.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
See, first of all, there are two aspects to it. As a self-defense instructor, as a KravMaga instructor, my priorities is, one is teaching them how to handle the crisis at the physical level. But the more smarter way will be to teaching them how to recognize the signals of abuse, as you said, the soft signals as well as the physical signals of abuse, and preventing it from happening. I think there is a more smarter way. As we say, a good fighter knows how to get out of a fight, but a smart fighter knows how not to get into a fight. Okay. So first of all, we should make the child smart. So that is the responsibility of the parents and the school.
So you've been an instructor for so many years. What kind of training do you give them, especially about this kind, when you're talking about child abuse to them? What kind of soft signals that you were talking about? How do you tell them about it? How do you make them?
When you talk about physical abuse, the trust factor comes in.
Yeah.
When a child is abused, trust is most difficult for that child for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
So how do you train a child against that?
Okay, it's a very, see, basically this has set me thinking since I conduct a lot of workshops for women and children. So there are certain, I devised 10 A's of how to prevent getting into a crisis. Number one is, the most smartest thing is to avoid. So avoid getting into a situation which makes you vulnerable, which could be due to the place, due to the time, due to the people around you. Avoid, number one is that. Number two is prevent access. You create as many obstacles between you and the aggressor in a crisis, whether you are at home or whether you are in public. Prevent access to you. Probably if you are at home, if you can't close the door, at least have furniture and hold up a chair between you and the aggressor. Delay the process as much as possible. See, most of the aggressors are looking at soft targets, like animals in the animal world. Even though a carnivorous animal is very powerful, it always chooses the most softest target amongst the group. Similarly, a criminal is always looking at a soft target. If he is not confident that this crime can be perpetuated without struggle, most of them are discouraged. So you have to discourage them as much as possible. And one is the attitude. So you have to have, don't behave like a soft target. Most of I see, women and children walking on the road with a droop, where they don't look at all. It encourages criminals to,
get away with doing
it makes them very
want.
confident. Okay, I can handle this person, and they will be intimidated. So your attitude is one, something which you have to teach the children. And being aware, most of the girls I see on the road, they are so immersed in the cell phone, they don't even notice who is standing on the road. Probably there is a bike with two guys sitting with a visor down. That's a very clear signal that something is wrong. Or you are walking on a lonely lane and there is a car parked and two guys sitting inside. I mean, that's a clear signal. If you are immersed in your cell phone or iPad, I mean, you are
be more aware of their surroundings.
Aware of the, surroundings. Next is anticipate. Trust your instincts. Your instincts have millions of years of survival instincts programmed inside yourself. Most of us try to go beyond our instincts.
Exactly. If you're feeling uncomfortable with someone or at some place, you should immediately let
Trust
someone
your instincts.
know.
Be ready to fight or flee. Okay. The third is assert yourself. If you feel somebody is trying to take advantage of you, draw a clear line of demarcation. Stay there. Don't come near me. once you assert yourself, it gives them very clear indication that once they cross the line, their intentions are very clear. You don't get surprised at the last minute. Somebody is coming to you, trying to ask you for an address, then the criminal has to close the gap. So you stay there and ask me the address. Once he crosses the line, his intentions become very clear. You need not say, I am surprised. So asserting is also a very good this thing. And be agile. If you are in doubt, run like crazy. Don't be hesitant.
Because at that point of time, there's nobody but you who has to save yourself.
Yeah, it is better to be safe than sorry.
Exactly.
Most of us, that is, I'm coming to the next point is, don't try to be polite. If you are in the doubt, be rude. Most of us don't want to be rude. That is what the criminal is expecting to, leverage. So, if you are in doubt, trust your innings and be rude. Be very clear what you want him to do. Because his intentions become very clear if he doesn't obey you.
Yeah.
And next is attention. Most of us, the children especially, they are silent in shame. They don't tell anybody something is wrong. As she is saying, they are confused. So, tell people clearly that you are a problem. Even if they want to help you, you should let them know you are under problem. You shout like crazy and people can't shout in a shock. So, at least do simple words. You just say, get off, get off, get off. You keep repeating it because you can't form a sentence in a shock. So, repeat simple things, get off, don't come near me, do simple things but keep repeating, that is, you bring attention to yourself so that people, even if they want to help you, like in foreign, they teach the children, if some stranger is pulling the child, they teach the children to say, he is not my dad, help. Because the people who see around will think, okay, it's a father and son, having a problem. So, the child is, taught to say, he is not my dad. So, these are simple things which, and act. Even if you don't feel brave, act aggressive. Because a criminal is, as I said, looking for a soft target, don't appear like a soft target. At least act. Delay the process. Because a criminal is looking for a 10 or 15 seconds window
period.
Don't give that window. If you delay, most of the criminals, go for a better soft target. Okay. And be armed. Be armed. For example, I teach girls, to carry a pepper spray. Suppose you are traveling late in your job.
What about a child, sir?
Child, you teach them some self-defense techniques. Like you saw that demo, what we did. These don't require big expertise, not years of training, no great fitness. In fact, KravMaga is designed for a small aggressor, a small defendant against a bigger aggressor. It is not based on strength or flexibility or conditioning of the body.
All right.
So, hit the vulnerable spots. See, what is vulnerable spot? Your eye and my eye are the same strength. Your nose and my nose are the same strength. Your knee and my knee are the same. These are parts which cannot be exercised. So, whether he is a 6 foot 3 inches or a 5 foot dwarf, nose is a nose, eye is an eye, groin is a groin, knee is a knee. The child should be taught to hit vulnerable spots which cannot be strengthened. So that is what
basically be taught to take control of such a situation and not let this happen to you.
Yeah, because
alright. So these are very simple, basic techniques that would be very useful indeed, especially with all the kidnapping cases that have come to the fore.
In fact, since you raised the kidnapping things, we are working very closely with the city police. We are planning an awareness, safety awareness program in all the city schools, teaching the children, these preventive factors. We want to perpetuate it in all the schools. So we are going to work with the police also in creating this awareness.
That's a great initiative, especially KravMaga focuses on a small defendant against a big aggressor. So I don't think it's absolutely right, perfect for children in fact to learn such a art.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today, sir, and giving us all these important points. In fact, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Well, we need to head into a quick break now, but still ahead on the bulletin, all your favorite segments coming right up.